Hi guys, Richard from SharpshootingUK here. I think I've cracked the hearing protection side of things, and I thought I would share. The things that you stick in your ear, the plugs, the foam ones, I have always hated because you are immediately completely useless. You can't hear, you can't communicate, you can't learn from the other shooters, you can't have a laugh. It's just intolerable. And your voice sounds like a cheap disco, so they're no good. You need to be able to hear and have your hearing protected. I also hate with a passion these dumb hearing protectors. Same thing. They block your hearing, everything echoes, you cannot hear a thing, but you are protected. You've then got the previous generation of active hearing protection muffs, but I always felt that they were too bulky, too expensive, and I was always very cynical about electronics because I wear a little hearing aid, because I had a virus once and it knocked half my hearing out, which was, well, it could have been worse, but there we go. They gave me a hearing aid, and what a great little thing for conversation and to help with the television. The problem is that it is intolerable in the wind. The slightest bit of wind and it hisses, and it's useless in the wind. I just turn it off. So I'm thinking, oh, my shooting's done outside, obviously. Active digital hearing protection is going to be rubbish, isn't it? So I was always slow to get into that side of things. So the route I went down was the earplugs, excuse me, with the valve. So these let you hear, but then the valve closes on a loud noise and they protect you. The problem is that there's good ones and bad ones. I find that these Auritech ones, these green ones, the Auritech Shoots, there's various different types, but the Auritech Shoot are sort of tuned for what we need. They're 20 quid, and they come in this little case that I keep on my keyring. Now, ear protection is no good if you lose it or if it's full of dust. So I found that to be very cool. So I use them, and they offer about 30 decibels of protection, which is a whole hell of a lot better than the cheap ones, which are in the low or mid-20s. And that isn't nearly the same, that's much less protection. But at least you can hear voices and not look like a complete idiot going, what? All day long. Then Auritech offer a custom-fit set that offer you even more protection. Let me get that zoomed in properly. Alright, there we go. So you can see that that has been customized to my ear. And there's the valve. And because it's a better fit, less sound gets past, and you have quite a bit more protection. So I had a few sets of these made up. I've got ones without a tab on to pull them out. They're just a little bit more needly to get out. You have to use your fingernails. And then ones with tabs. They're a bit easier to get out. Another set in the different material. You can choose your colour, you could choose a hard or a soft material. A long story short, I found these do offer more protection. They don't let quite as much voice through, but they're still a lot better than the other options. And of course you don't have a problem with electronic wind noise from the microphone getting blown out. If the microphone is miniaturized, you're going to have a serious problem with wind noise. Or it's just going to cut. It's going to cut the wind, and then you're going to lose that speech. I haven't tested the Sens and the others, but I am very sceptical, and they're very, very, very expensive. And having had problems constantly with my hearing aid with its miniaturized speakers without foam protection on them to help with the wind noise, I thought that that wasn't the way to go. So I can report that of the in-the-ear options, I really do prefer the Auritech Shoots. I've tried many, and these I really like. They also don't itch and they stay clean, and for 20 quid, especially given the quality of the little container, I absolutely love them. If you spend a couple of £100 and have your ears moulded at a show or whatever and have these guys send you these are really good. I use them for everything, with a couple of small exceptions. So you're taking 30 odd decibels off the damage. Now, you really want to get down to about 80, certainly 90. So if you have a very, very loud bang, you need more protection. It's as simple as doing the maths. So what I then do, and I've only just discovered this, is I wear another layer. So I go for the ones that aren't very deep. Let me focus, sorry. Yeah, so this set here without the tab. Then I can wear modern electronic ear defenders over the top. Now, I don't like these, you hear me say. Well, I do like these because things have changed. These are 45 quid on Amazon. They are very popular all over the world. They're the Howard Light Impact Sports. And essentially what you have here is about another 25 decibels of protection just from wearing something over your ears. Then anything over 80 decibels, they don't amplify. So the idea is your hearing's blocked as completely as possible by this system, which is about 25 decibels, which isn't the best hearing protection in the world, but it's an additional 25 decibels. Then the outside world is piped into you and amplified according to your settings on this wheel dial. Now, this is not new, I hear you say, but what I like about these is that they're slimline, they're cheap, the wind noise is just not a problem because the microphones are covered. There's some sort of directionality here so that you know where the sound is coming from, which is very well done, better than my hearing aid. And you are able, and this is the real rub, to wear doubled up. So you wear your custom-fit Auritechs, or you wear some plugs. That gives you, high 20s, low 30s decibels of protection. Then you whack these over the top, which gives you more protection and protects you physically from any ear blast around the bones around the ear, which is relevant if you're actually directly in the path of a break or a blast. And then you're stone deaf, you can't hear a thing. You've got 60 decibels of protection in. You then put this speaker, the amplifier inside, up to maximum, and by God, if you can't hear guys 2 lanes down from you talking to you, it is like having bionic hearing. So I think I've finally cracked it. I wear these from Auritech when I'm just doing any type of shooting, and they're ample for 99% of stuff, especially in the UK where we use moderators a lot. But if you're indoors, you're unmoderated, you're next to a Magnum that's braked and you're only 2 foot away, then you put these over the top, put them onto maximum, and you really can hear voices, which means you can stay a useful member of the team and hear all the communications about the shots that you need to. And of course, in competition, you can hear the range officer, which is obviously very important and stressful if you can't. If you've got so much hearing protection on, you can't hear anybody talking to you, you really do lose focus on the task at hand because you're constantly keeping an eye out, as it were, rather than concentrating on the shot. So I know a lot of you will be saying, well, I know all this, but one of the rules here with my reviews, Sharpshooting UK, is that if I come up with something that is a light bulb moment, I share it. And the score for me is, don't bother with the cheapies, definitely don't bother with anything dumb, those being the foam ones or the chainsawing ones. Get yourself some plugs. I really do recommend the Auritechs. I've been testing these for years and they've been fantastic. There are loads of different ways of doing it. You've got the cheap ones, which are worth having on your keys at all times, and then you can have some custom fit ones done, which really are perfectly fitting. I've had no problems with the 3 sets that I've got. You can get them in whatever color you want. You can have them with different attachments, lanyards, etc., etc. And then if you're next to a really big gun, or you need physical protection around the ear bone, then you put these on, and the amplification in them is so good. In fact, if you use them normally, then you can ramp them up and you can really hear. It's remarkable. You can hear things happening a long way away without distortion. So this means that you can hear what's going on in the shooting line, you can hear the range officer, you can hear people behind you, or indeed, if you're out with a shotgun, you can wear enough hearing protection, but you can still hear the flap of wings and the like. I really do think I've cracked it with this cheap and very highly regarded part here, which, as I say, I've only recently discovered thanks to some good advice from some friends. So I'm just sharing that. The Howard Light Impact Sports are under 50 quid. They are completely flawless, if you ask me. Maybe a little hot on a hot day. Maybe someone will come out with a kind of memory foam pad kit or something like that. I'm sure that'll happen in time. But yeah, that's how I'm doing the hearing protection side of things. I hope this helps some people out there who are scratching their heads about which way to go.